The Sacramento area's best bridges and their history. Well, I'm gonna start today with talking about the most prominent bridge in the Sacramento area, the Tower Bridge in Sacramento. The bright yellow-colored two-gate bridge is a major architectural piece in the Sacramento skyline. It was built in 1935 and it is partly a drawbridge with the central part lifting 100 feet sometimes to allow for large boats to pass through. The bridge was designed using the streamlined modern style of architecture, which is an extremely rare style of bridge design. It is often used in bridge buildings and vehicles. It happens to be on the shortest state highway in California, State Route 275, which is 738 feet long, but is a major focal point to the Sacramento cityscape, and I believe is what makes Sacramento stand out as a city. Then, the Forest Hill Bridge in Auburn. It is a steel-worn cantilever deck truss structure which crosses the North Fork American River. The bridge was made in Japan by Kawasaki Heavy Industries. It was constructed in 1972 for the planned, but never built, Auburn Dam and its reservoir to provide access to Forest Hill and its nearby mountainous communities from Auburn. As a result, it is the highest bridge in California at a height of 730 feet from top to bottom, and the fourth highest in the United States. And when you see it from the bottom, you are awarded with seeing a tall, green, larger-than-life arch. And while on the bridge, you have breathtaking views of the American River below. Now, going to a more simple style bridge. The Bridgeport Covered Bridge, Bridgeport, the Yuba County Bridgeport, not to be confused with the Mono County one. It was built in 1862 after the previous Bridgeport Bridge was washed out from heavy rains that winter. The bridge is designed using the Howe truss with timber trusses and iron rods and plates joined by a Burr arch, named after Theodore Burr, who first used this design on a Hudson River bridge in 1804. The bridge is 249 feet long. It is the only remaining single-span bridge of this type of this size. While visiting this bridge, I felt like I was traveling to New Hampshire or Vermont, being on a covered bridge. But instead of being in a tall, lush forest as you imagine being in New Hampshire, you are surrounded by digger pines and manzanita bushes. It is interesting to see that the largest of these bridges is not in New England, but in the foothills of Northern California. Then going to the urbanized area of Sacramento, the Rainbow Bridge in Folsom. It was built in 1918 to link Folsom with the then agricultural lands of the Citrus Heights and Orangeville areas, then some of the richest agricultural lands in the state. They are now mostly taken by suburban residential and commercial areas. At the time it was built, its concrete arch was the fourth largest concrete arch span in the world. It originally had a simple name, the American River Bridge, named after the river it crosses. But in the 1950s, in order to lure travelers through postcards, the more descriptive name Rainbow Bridge was suggested, with its rainbow arch and picturesque scene around the bridge, which took hold and has been the name it's used ever since. Now going to the Delta, the Rio Vista Bridge in Rio Vista. This bridge has had two iterations. The first iteration was constructed in 1919 as a Strauss-Trunnion Basque-style bridge. The second iteration started construction in 1943 and was completed in 1959. During that time, between 1943 and 1959, The old bridge and the new bridge existed alongside each other, using the west end of the old bridge with the east end of the new bridge. It is the second longest lift bridge in the state, being 2,890 feet long, with the longest being the Schulierheim Lift Bridge in Long Beach, which is 3,976 feet long. It was interesting to see this bridge when I went the first time in 2017, since it was in one of the wettest years in California history, to see the river almost reach the bridge and the river actually flooding one of the river roads. The two vertical towers on the bridge and being on flat land remind me of seeing pictures of the Mississippi River, Ohio River area with similar terrain and farmlands. Now going to the mountains. The Mosquito Bridge in Swansboro. It was built in 1867 and reconstructed in 1939 as a small suspension bridge connecting Placerville with the small communities of the Swansboro area. The county is actually working on building a replacement bridge, which will be 400 feet above the river. It takes 23 minutes to go 9 miles from Main Street in Placerville to this community. And the road is really windy going down to the bridge, and once you are there, you are awarded with driving over a swinging wooden bridge as you head across another windy section of road to get to the residential community of Swansboro. Now back to the city, the I Street Bridge in Sacramento. It was built in 1911 as the heaviest swinging center bridge in the United States, weighing over 7 million pounds. It has 2 decks, one for road traffic and one for railroad traffic. This was a really innovative and efficient way of designing a bridge, a precursor to the Bay Bridge design built 26 years later with one deck for freeway traffic and the other for railroad traffic. And another spotlight showing that Sacramento was the pioneer in transportation hubs, with previously playing a key role in developing the railroad, being the terminus of the Transcontinental Railroad, and having one of the first railroads in the country, the Sacramento Valley Railroad, and being a major point in the nation's first highway, the Lincoln Highway, and being on Interstate 80. As of this video, the city is actually working on building a replacement bridge, as this bridge is nearing the end of its useful life. I hope you enjoyed learning about these bridges and that it hopefully inspires you to take a trip to these bridges yourself. Don't forget, like, subscribe, or comment below. Thank you for watching.